Bookwoman, an iconic part of Austin history and culture, is a feminist and LGBTQ+ bookstore in Austin run by founding member Karen Post, who has guided the shop for 50 years.
I'm one of the founding members of Bookwoman, and your question was to talk a little bit about the origins of Bookwoman. And so, a little more than 50 years ago, two women went on a road trip and they ended up in Oakland, California, and there was a women's bookstore there called ICI, A Woman's Place. And they walked in and there was a bulletin board, like you could find out how to get an abortion, how to get childcare, who was a good gynecologist. And so there was a resource bulletin board, and there were books and periodicals. Back in those days, there were underground newspapers and feminist newspapers, and they were all collected there along with books for adults and for children. And they were blown away, and so they came back to Austin and put out a call for a bookstore. And so they wanted to gather a group of women to create a feminist bookstore in Austin. And so I was asked 3 times, and I turned them down twice. And on the third time was the charm, so to speak. And I went to a meeting, and I had a full-time job. Some of the women were students, and some, I'm not really sure how one was a bookkeeper. And so we formed little committees. I worked full-time in the UT library system, and I learned that they wanted to procure me because I must know how to order books, because no one knew how the publishing world worked. And so I worked one night a week at the bookstore, and we were donated a firebombed set of apartments on Guadalupe next to the Catholic Church. And so we scraped the charcoal off the walls and painted and built bookcases, and I helped with that because we did that on the weekends, and I couldn't do much during the week. And so after the first year, half the collective left. Some went to graduate school out of state, some went back. One of them went back to Oklahoma, back to the reservation that they were from up there. And after the second year, we needed to move out of that space, and we ended up moving into my house because it was zoned for soft office. And so they moved me, and everyone said adios. And I quit my nice job in the library system, and I in earnest learned how to order books.
Since its opening, Bookwoman has welcomed people from all walks of life to its door, letting people discover themselves and others in its pages.
I understood how important it could be to make a safe space and to promote and to elevate women, initially women and children's voices. And as kind of the tent of feminism grew, we gathered all the marginal voices and worked together, intersectionally with people of color, queer people, and also, for a very long time now, trans people.
Its message of inclusivity has stood the test of time and continues to uplift the diverse voices of the Austin community.
Well, I've mentioned it being a safe space, and we have had gatherings where people have been able to talk about what's really on their mind. And I don't know if this is well known, but for 2 years running, we hosted the trans feminist reading group that was the origins were out of the University of Texas back when that was possible. And everyone they'd met in the library, in the park, in another space, but after meeting at Bookwoman, everyone just felt more comfortable here. And so for every month for 2 years, 30 of us would meet and talk about an article or a film or a little clip and have snacks together. And we have been able to talk about border issues and have people be really kind of angry about those things, and truth-telling is possible here.
For Texas State University, I'm Florian Guillory in San Marcos.